All righty. Are we live? I said, are we live? We are live. Oh, man. What are the settings on? Darn, it's only on 720. What? We are back. We back with the Mac. So let's get rid of that chat. Let's go back and get another one. Go ahead and snatch that out. Pop that chat. And hit live chat. Come back in. Hit copy. And where's the chat room? We're going to get rid of the other chat. I'm going to select all. And then delete. All right, and now we're going to put the chat in. It might be the same chat. We don't know. It might have continued the show. We don't know. But okay. Now we got our new chat. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Welcome back to the things you forgot about. Welcome back. We're going to get this sermon done. Let there be no doubt. When things start to look bad, don't get upset. Just know your obligation's been met. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Wait a minute. Here we go with the cheating. I hit the button 5 times, but it still won't do its job. Come on. I can make sure we good. Okay, now it's not showing the chat. Why are you not showing the chat? Wait a minute. You showing me a different day. What the hell? I was going to say, we got a full chat room. We're going to say, what's going on here? All righty. Hey, Liz. Liz says, happy Saturday church. That's right. We believe the Sabbath was on Saturday. That the Romans moved it to Sunday for the pagans and the heathens. To get them to come to the church. Now, a lot of people want to argue about that, but you got to use your common sense. They didn't have no phones back then. They didn't have emails. They didn't have text messaging. If you wanted to know what was going on in a territory that you conquered, and remember, the Romans had conquered a lot of territory, how could you keep an eye on what everybody was doing? Not everybody was Christian. Not everybody was Muslim. Some people had their own religions. How could you know what's going on in the communities? You know, I accuse Donald Trump of this every night. If you don't have a way to go see what's going on, how do you know what's going on? You can only assume church was the way. Get everybody to go to church. It was mandatory that you went to church. And when you went to church, they had people there. And those people mingled in and went through the crowds, and they found out what was going on. That's how they knew how to address the issues. Was anybody trying to rebel? Was anybody starting trouble? Was anybody trying to interfere with their business? They knew by getting you to come to church. And by telling you that if you went into this confession little area with a priest, that you could tell all your sins and the priest could forgive them, that lets you know they a lie right there. All right, here we go again. Where are we at? I don't understand what's going on here. I know I'm live because I can see the main screen. But yet the tablet took us someplace we ain't supposed to be. It was on somebody else's show. I'm for helping other people out, but right now I need to see the chat for my own show. And like I was saying, they were able to keep tabs on everybody because you had to go to church every week. You didn't go to church. Somebody came looking for you. What you up to? You planning a rebellion? Or are you not at church? Hey, now, why are you not at church? They sat there and lied. I noticed that happened when I was talking about one of the biggest lies that the Roman Catholics ever came up with. That a priest can forgive your sins. Only Jesus Christ can forgive your sins. No man can. If a man could do it, well, why do we need Jesus Christ? I'll wait for somebody to defeat that. We'll sit here and wait. So, they got you to tell a priest your secrets. So if you were planning some kind of rebellion, you were planning some kind of campaign against them, they could take you out. They did it all through the church. So the church wasn't so much about religion as it was about keeping tabs on your people. So keep that in mind. Especially whenever you see somebody with the Catholic religion open their mouth up. Keep that in mind. And be ready to shut them down. If you follow me, you'll know how to shut them down. Our topic for today is, why do we hurt the people that we say we care about the most? Sometimes, and it might not even be intentional, but sometimes we get so rah-rah that we actually say or do something that could really hurt somebody we love. How do you think a grandmother who had a daughter that was strung out and she had to raise her son, and she's doing her best to raise her son to have a good education and maybe go to college and maybe become something, and then one day she's cleaning his room and she finds baggies of drugs hidden in the shoebox under his bed? What is she feeling? She's breaking her neck to make sure that her grandson can get the chance that her daughter didn't, because the daughter got caught up with the drugs. So now she's raising her grandchild as her own, and she's trying to get the grandchild to make something of himself. And now she discovered at the age of 16, he's out there selling dope. The same dope that his mother strung out on and is out there homeless in the street, laying up with anybody she can lay up with just to get a hit. Her son is here selling the same stuff. What kind of hurt would she feel? What kind of shame when the grandson come home and gets confronted? Is the grandmother angry? Or is she sad and crying? What kind of impact will it have on the young man? Because see, the dope that he's selling to those people he don't see the pain. Even though his mother is out there, he don't see the pain. But when he see the pain in his grandmother's eyes, will he care? How will it affect him? Will he even just, grandma, stay out my stuff. What you doing in my room? Or will he be ashamed? Because whether or not he wants to admit it, he has hurt his grandmother. She's doing what she can to make him be something. He's doing the same thing that his mother did. Disappointing. Breaking the heart of the woman that's trying to provide for him, his grandmother. So now the grandmother is going to lose the daughter and the grandson to the street. But this young man might get locked up. This young man might get killed. Was she wasting her time trying to do for these people? She's sacrificing and doing what she can do. And they like, put on you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to mess with this drug game. They are hurting her. But if you ask them, they'll say, Grandma need to mind her business. Why do we hurt the people that we say we care about? But that's hurting. When you sit there and put all that effort out in the people, and they disappoint you, they hurt you. It's no different. Than when you at a gathering, especially you women, when y'all get y'all little gatherings together, y'all playing bridge or y'all just hanging out, crocheting, or y'all just sitting out, and somebody bring out the pictures. Y'all know the pictures come out. And then somebody say, how come you don't have no recent pictures of your grandson? Yeah, you don't even bring him around no more. We haven't seen him in like 5 years. Is he still alive? Well, of course he's still alive. But why don't you bring him to the next gathering? And so you got a week. And you take him to the barbershop. And you get him a nice little outfit. Got him looking all prim and proper. And you tell him what to say. And you bring him in. And at first, he's doing what you said. But there's an old saying. You can only pretend for so long. As y'all playing the card game or whatever, and they start to question him, he starts to say the dumbest stuff out of his mouth and totally embarrasses you in front of your people. Just totally embarrasses you. And y'all women, y'all have brought men around your families, and you told them what to say, and you told them how to behave, and after about 10 minutes, they start acting like they normally act and embarrass the heck out you. It's the same thing with men. You know the woman is a tramp, but you try and dress her up, try and tell her what to say, and she ain't even there 5 minutes, laid back, legs wide open, talking about, ooh, child, bring me one of them drinks, and just embarrassing the heck out you in front of mom and grandma, just embarrassing you. Why do we hurt the people who we say we care about? I've given y'all some examples. So let's go take a look. What should we start with? Uh-oh, I don't know which one is which. So I see it didn't stick. Okay. And then, all right, I picked out 3 different articles, so just close my eyes and pick one. It don't matter. I ain't read them. I don't know what they're gonna say. Let's go. I sent one of these to a family member. She read it. Told y'all I don't read them. All right, so let's get started. We blow it up so everybody can see it, and we're gonna get right to it. Blow it up one more time. All right, there you go. Y'all should be able to see that. All right, we're gonna take this very familiar story and look at it in a new way to try to learn something new. Hopefully, it is a way you never looked at it. I know I never saw it this way. If someone were to ask you to finish this sentence, how would you do it? The story of Joseph is a story of what? Okay, I'll answer it. The story of Joseph. A story of a man that has a lot of sons, but he put his hope and faith and attention on one son. The other sons, they became jealous. And one day, they were going to kill him because they were so jealous of Joseph. But instead, they sold him into slavery. He wound up in Egypt. A spirit came to Joseph, a ghost, an angel, whatever you want to call him, and told him there will be a famine in all the land. Tell the Pharaoh, because he got sold into Egypt, tell the Pharaoh to store up as much grain as he could. Fill all the coffers. Whatever else you're doing, stop. Right now, grain. So the Pharaoh listened to Joseph, and he stored up grain. And there was a famine among the land. Now, I told you that people had meat on special occasions, but they usually had bread. That was the delicacy. Even Jesus passed the bread. Bread was the meat, unless it was a special occasion. Normally, they had bread. And you could have rice, or you could have vegetables. Maybe make a soup. Maybe make a gravy to dip the bread in. But bread was everybody's dinner. You ate bread. You ate it for breakfast. You ate it for lunch. You ate it for dinner. So, when the famine hit, everybody didn't have no grain. Well, without no grain, you can't make no bread. But thanks to Joseph, Pharaoh had saved pounds upon pounds upon pounds upon pounds of it. Joseph made Pharaoh very rich. People came from all around just to buy grain from Pharaoh. So, Joseph's 6 brothers, they came down there to buy some grain. Joseph recognized them. They didn't recognize him. And he told the workers, put the money back in the bag that they paid. So when the brothers got home and opened the bag up, They were afraid because they didn't give them the money. So they thought that the Egyptians were coming on the chariots to come get them to get their money. So they went back. And Joseph let them be scared for a minute, you know. But then he told them who he was, and he said, go get my father. Go get everybody and bring them back here. That was the story of Joseph. And once again, Joseph was a great man, and the Israelites, the ones that Moses freed, they came there under Joseph. And as long as Joseph was alive, they were okay. But when Joseph died and a new Pharaoh came along and didn't know nothing about Joseph, he started enslaving the Israelites. He started enslaving them. And then Moses came and freed them, and you know that story. So there you go. That's the story of Joseph. Now, what is it about? It's about a father that put too much attention on one child and didn't spread it around. Did he think he was doing something wrong? In his mind, no. But he must have been doing something wrong to the fact that the other kids wanted to kill him. And luckily they didn't kill him. They traded him. But the father put too much emphasis on one child. Do you do that? Do you have children and you favor one and don't pay the other no mind or as much attention? And you have them have this anger building up? I told you the other day, when there's a toddler, oh, he's so cute, and everybody love him. Then a baby come along, and then they tell you, get out the way. Look at you, baby. What if the toddler get mad and try to hurt the baby? Do you get mad at the toddler, or do you get mad at yourself because what were you doing that allowed the toddler not to have the same love and joy that you had, but make the toddler want to kill the baby? You might say, well, he should sit down somewhere. He had his time. Or should you make sure that you evenly distribute? Because whether you meant to or not, you hurt the older sibling when you put all the intention on the new one. You are hurting that child. Now, not all children are going to try and kill the baby, but some of them might start doing other things. Tearing things up, setting things on fire. See, that all, you hurt people and you don't realize it. Jacob hurt his other sons to the point that they wanted to kill their baby brother. So are you doing that with children that you have now? All right, so let's continue. Let's see what they had to say. And you notice I didn't look at the screen. Now I'm looking at it. The story of Joseph is a story of what? A special coat? A scorned woman's wrath? Jealous brothers? What? It could be any of those, and they would all make good sermons. However, I will finish that sentence this way. The story of Joseph is a story of hurting people, hurting people. Write this down. It's easy for hurting people to hurt people. If you go through this whole story, what you see over and over is hurting people, hurting people. So if the toddler thought that by hurting the baby, he would get more attention, he's hurting because he's not getting the attention. And now he wants to hurt the toddler. The brothers wasn't getting attention from Joseph, so they wanted, because they felt hurt, they wanted to hurt Joseph. People who are hurting other people because they are hurting. And one of the most natural things, it's one of the most natural things for humans to do. When we are hurt, we want to hurt back, strike back, to hurt the person who hurt us. An eye for an eye. When those who are hurt by others react out of pain, even from events that happened long ago, they potentially create more pain. It is a vicious cycle of deception, one which can grow rapidly, thus creating more hurting people who hurt people. One of Adam's descendants named Lamech is the perfect example. He said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, wives of Lamech, listen to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. Genesis 4:23. End of story. We don't know anything else. We don't know if he was young or old, good or bad, rich or poor. All we know is someone hurt him and he hurt them. Natural human nature kicked in, hurt for hurt. Let's look at the story of Joseph and see hurting people hurting people. Jacob, he was hurt by his father's rejection. His father showed open favoritism for Esau. Jacob was forced to play second fiddle. It scarred him for life, deep, deep hurt. Then Jacob, who you think would know better, did exactly the same thing. He showed open favoritism for one wife and for her children. The other wife and handmaidens were forced to play second fiddle. They were hurt, and they hated the one who hurt them, and they wanted to hurt back. They hated Jacob. That was one of the reasons they wanted to kill Joseph, to hurt Jacob. Another thing that is true about hurting people, sometimes they are unable to hurt the one who hurt them, so they seek to hurt someone else. They were really acting out of hatred for Jacob for the way he slighted their mothers. They had grown up watching their mothers being treated like sloppy seconds. They hated Jacob before Joseph was born. When he was born, they transferred their hate to him. Another thing hurting people do is they interpret everything they see or hear through a filter of pain and hurt. Every time Jacob would say something good about Joseph or give him a gift, his brothers heard the words, I hate you, and saw Joseph's gifts as robbing them. We don't know that Jacob did not give gifts to the brothers or that he did not praise them, but they were hurt and it affected what they saw and heard. That hurt made it difficult for them to see or hear the truth. You may know people like this. This may even be your problem. Perhaps you too have developed a filter, a lens of hurt that affects how you see life. It is not natural for anyone to be a murderer, especially for brothers to kill each other. That's why it's so surprising to read Genesis 37:19. Here comes that dreamer, they shouted. Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we will see what comes of his dream. This degree of hatred and type of situation had to brew over a long time and involve a lot of hurts. But the actions of the brothers make more sense when you remember that hurt people often erupt with inappropriate emotion because particular words, actions, or circumstances touch and trigger past woundedness. Hold on a sec. Sorry, the show on the tablet keeps stopping. Let's keep going. I've been in situations with people in which there was a gross overreaction to a word I spoke or an action that was taken. Although I was shocked and I thought this reaction came out of left field, it was really the person responding to an accumulation of years of hurt and pain that could not help but spill over in various situations. I myself have been in situations where I felt hurt, troubled, or overreacted to something because it touched a nerve with what I was still dealing with because of a wound I received in the past. Have you ever felt yourself dealing with inappropriate anger and emotions and wonder where it came from? These brothers, instead of being amoral and heartless, were really hurting people who did not know how to deal with the hurt. Hurt does not just go away. It's like a hot coal. You can't hold on to it because it will hurt you. You have to put it somewhere. Do something with it. Usually, we dump it on the people closest to us. Let's move on in the story. Next, we see Miss Patapa. I believe she was a hurting person too. Her husband seems to be more interested in his business than in her. She is forced to play second fiddle. She feels rejected and unwanted. She's possibly a much younger woman whose parents arranged this marriage to an older rich man. I believe she sees Joseph as more than a young stud. She sees someone she admires, maybe more her age, and he is there. She was possibly interested in much more than sex, but thought that sex was the way to get this young man, 30 years old, when Joseph rejected her advances. It was not an isolated incident. It touched the raw nerve she had been nursing. It wounded her already wounded self-image. Her overreaction, accusing him of rape, which she knew would get him executed, was just the reaction of a hurting person hurting someone else. Oh, I left that part up. It was her attempt to do something with the hot coal, the hurt. In the process, she burned an innocent person. Enter Potiphar. Now, for him to respond with great emotion to the attempted rape of his wife is not unusual. But I believe it still illustrates my point about hurting people hurting people. Potiphar was obviously a wealthy person. Many times, wealthy persons acquire wealth in an attempt to overcome hurt in their lives. Being abandoned by a parent or being picked on or coming up on the wrong side of tracks, maybe trying to win the approval of a father. Perhaps Joseph's alleged actions touched the raw nerve in Potiphar, like maybe he interpreted Joseph's alleged actions as robbing him of his stuff, which was the validation of his self-worth that had been wounded at an earlier time by someone else. Even if it was none of that, the point is still the same. Potiphar was hurt because this person he trusted implicitly broke the sacred trust, and Potiphar was crushed that someone so close to him and so respected would do such a thing. Perhaps it was his pride that was wounded, perhaps his sense of justice, but he was hurt. And what do hurting people do? Hurting people hurt people. So we see Joseph, who as far as we know was innocent in each of these events. Not his fault that his father loved Rachel more. Not his fault that his father showed favoritism and hurt the brothers. Whoops. Not his fault that God gave him these dreams and wanted him to share. Not his fault that Miss Potiphar made a move on him. Not his fault her life and marriage was messed up. Not his fault that Potiphar was hurt at some earlier time. All these people had been hurt, had raw, sensitive wounds that were reopened by something Joseph did or did not do. Each of them had a hot coal and had held on to it until they were burned terribly. Low self-esteem, jealousy, hatred. Joseph was the one on whom all of these people heaped their hot coals, their hurts and their pain. So let's look at Joseph. He had been hurt too, hated by his big brothers whom he respected, put in this situation by a dysfunctional father, almost murdered, and then sold by his brothers. Sold again as a slave in a strange land. Accused of crime and had no trial, no justice. 13 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. Who did he blame? What would you expect Joseph to do or his attitude to be? Act out, burn others with his hot coal, his hurt and his anger? Hurt people often portray themselves as victims and carry a victim spirit. Often hurt people can cry racism, sexism, homophobia, or often use the words unjust and unfair to describe the way they are being treated, even if there's no truth to this. Joseph could have been one of these victims who blame the world and are all filled with self-pity. Hurt people have a hard time entering into a trusting relationship. Joseph could have blamed God for all his troubles and could have used that hurt and blame to keep him from trusting God, but he didn't. Even after all injustice in his life, including 13 years in prison, when he stands before the king, he gives glory to God and shows faith in him. Genesis 41:16. So Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace." Joseph's hurts did not become wedges to drive him away from God, but toward him. Hurt people are often self-absorbed with their own pain and are unaware that they are hurting other people. Joseph could have sat in the corner of his cell and had a pity party. He could have been so self-absorbed in his hurt and his blame that he refused to have any relationship with other people out of fear of being hurt again. He could have sat there and nursed his wounds, constantly pulling the scab off so the hurts never healed and caused him to be bitter and antisocial. Hurting are often insensitive to other people because their emotional pain limits their capacity for empathy and their capacity for self-awareness. But Joseph wasn't. He was actually interested in the hurts and feelings of other people. He was close enough to the ex-servants of the king that they poured out their dreams to him. Men just don't do that. You can see Joseph displayed such a spirit of helpfulness and an interest in others that he won this trust. Each of us has been in numerous situations when someone hurt me and kept on going in a relationship without ever apologizing because they had no clue of what they were doing. We might even be that person, trampled, unnoticed upon feelings of others, blinded by our own hurt. Hurt people are susceptible to demonic deception. Hurting people are the easiest people of all for Satan to attack because they have so many doors open to him. He can come through the door of blame. He just points a finger at all the people who have hurt you, and he is able to hide because you have on a lens that colors all you see. So he uses those lenses to tell you all kinds of lies about the other person's blame and your right to feel like you do. He plays the victim card, convincing you that you are innocent of any blame. The other person bears all the blame. He brings up old hurts and picks the scab off, opening you to a new pain over old hurts as if they were fresh. Satan works in the darkness and deception and stays away from the light. Hurt people often have destructive habit patterns that are practiced in the dark. Hence, their mind becomes a breeding ground for satanic infiltration and deception. Jesus looks in the garden praying, and on the cross, these were the two lowest times in Jesus' life. And what did Satan do? He attacked him. In the garden, Satan tried to cause Jesus to become self-absorbed, but Jesus didn't. He was God-absorbed. On the cross, Satan tried to get Jesus to blame others and be bitter, but Jesus didn't. He prayed, "Father, forgive them." Somehow Joseph rejected Satan's attacks and did not allow Satan to possess his heart or mind. How did he do it? How can we? Well, for this answer, I will not go to psychiatrists or therapists. I will go to the top, to Jesus. He had the answer 2,000 years ago. Matthew 5:43 So 44. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Now your first thought may be, I can't do that, or how will that help me? Well, let's see. Pray for them. In order to pray for them, you have to put yourself in their place. Think about what they need, how they feel, and what they are going through. I think that is how Joseph kept from becoming bitter towards his brothers. He knew how unfair his father was. He saw his brothers hurt over and over by slights real and imagined. He was able to love his father and his brothers because he was able to understand them both, to see them in the best light as good people who did bad things, sometimes without knowing what they were doing. When his brothers threw him in the well, he could have seen them as monsters, doing some hideous thing because they were hideous people. But he did not. He understood the many years of stored up hate and hurt. He saw them as hurting people. And that changed them from monsters doing vile things by nature to normal, even good people doing bad things. When people hurt us, we have a choice. We can focus on our hurt, become self-absorbed, and we will come to see them as monsters. Or we can try to understand that hurt that causes them to do those things. And that will change them from monsters to people like us who are hurting and just acting out of their hurt. It might have been easier to swallow if Jesus had started with pray for them before he got to love them. As long as we focus on the deed or the word they use to hurt us, they will be monsters. And monsters are unlovable. We cannot love them as long as we see them that way. It is not until we turn them into people that we can love them and be able to deal with the hurt they cause us. I suspect if we're honest with ourselves, most of us can identify moments when we acted thoughtlessly from a place of sorrow or anger. If we can put ourselves in their place, empathize with them, feel the hurt, their hurt, that causes them to hurt, then we can love them. And we won't be hurt nearly so much or as often. But for the hurt we do have, Jesus gave us instructions about that too. Forgive them. What does forgive mean? It does not mean forget. You may forget in time, maybe not. You don't have to forget to forgive. Forgive means to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone after an offense, flaw, or mistake. To cancel a debt. Synonyms: pardon, excuse, exonerate, absolve. It literally means stop pulling the scab off the wound and let it heal. If you cut me on the hand, hurt me, to forgive doesn't mean I have to forget that you did it. I also don't have to stick my hand out and allow you to do it again. Forgetting and letting you have a second shot are not forgiving and are not necessarily for forgiveness. To forgive you, I just have to stop reliving the hurt, rehearsing the thing, let it go, let you go, forget revenge, move on. I can't move on or let it go if I still see myself as the victim or you as the victimizer. But if I see you as a fellow victim who is also hurt, and if acting out of hurt, then I can understand, can let you go, and can move on. So the choice is ours. When we are hurt, make the person into a monster and be filled with anger and want to hurt back, or see the monster as really just a person, a fellow hurtee, and forgive and pray for them and love them. Hurt people need to forgive to be released and restored to freedom. The Gospel of St. John 20:23 says that we have to release the sins of others if we're going to be released. That means if we do not forgive others, then the very thing we have become victimized will become part of our life. For example, alcoholic fathers breed alcoholic sons if their sons do not forgive and release their fathers. The good news is that through the efficacious blood of Christ, we can all be healed and set free from all past hurts, so we can comfort others with the same comfort we ourselves have received from God. We have received from God. 2 Corinthians 1:4. I suspect if we're honest with ourselves, most of us can identify moments when we acted thoughtlessly from a place of sorrow or anger. Most of us have felt pain burning like a hot coal in our hands and felt desperate to unload it somehow, somewhere. And that's it. All right. Come back. All right, let me check the comments. Liz said she'll be right back. Naya said be right back putting dinner on. Echelon said, what's for dinner, Naya? Naya says, hey Charlie, we're having honey garlic salmon and roasted Brussels sprouts. Sounds good. I think I still got a pack of salmon left. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to the market today or tomorrow. I got a pack of chicken in the sink, and I still got a sleeve of that salmon left. But I don't have any side orders. I'm trying to think if I should run up to the market and grab some side orders, or just take the salmon out the freezer and use that as a side order. Have me some chicken and salmon. We don't have no side orders. I need to go get some sweet corn or some macaroni and cheese or soup, you know, or some salad, you know, something to have on the side, you know, or even some ravioli, like some canned lasagna, canned spaghetti and meatballs. I'm trying to think. What do y'all think? Do we ride up to the market? Y'all know I taped up that piece pretty good. I tied it on with 2 strings, right? And then I took the tape and I wrapped it, and then I went down the bottom and wrapped it. So now the mechanic said that he would look at it today, but I don't know if I want to fool. I don't know if I want to fool with him or not. But I wanted to make sure that we got the sermon in, so we ain't had to rush back and do a sermon. So does anybody have a question? Anybody have a question about what we just talked about? Now, I had forgot about, you know, I told you that Joseph got sold to the Egyptian, and eventually he did, but he was sold to Potiphar first. And Potiphar was a businessman, like a Donald Trump. And he didn't pay his wife no mind. He had a pretty young wife, he didn't pay her no mind. And one of his most trusted servants was Joseph. The brothers had sold Joseph to him. And the wife, she became attracted to Joseph because he was young and he was there. Businessman was always out doing business and really ain't paying no mind. So she wanted, you know, she developed feelings for Joseph, and, you know, she wanted to roll around with him in the hay. And Joseph told her no. She was already hurt because her husband wasn't paying her no mind. And she was rejected by a common slave. So that hurt her even more. And so she wanted Joseph to hurt. She wanted the husband to hurt, but she had no power to do that. But she had the power to get the husband to hurt Joseph. The brothers were hurt because Joseph's father didn't favor them. That father favored Joseph. So they wanted to hurt Joseph. So the brothers wanted to hurt Joseph. Now the wife wanted to hurt Joseph. Now the husband heard that Joseph tried to sleep with his wife. Now he wanted to hurt Joseph. And through all of it, Joseph never tried to hurt anybody back. The fact that the husband didn't pay his wife no mind means that his father didn't pay his mother no mind. Or him. He put their mind on business. And so his hurt made him want to be an even better businessman than his father was. Probably to get back at him, to get rid of his hurt. And so he didn't pay no attention to his wife. The same way his father didn't pay no attention to his wife. We try to cover our hurt by doing other things instead of just dealing with the hurt. And the easiest way is to hurt somebody else. Sometimes we don't realize we do it. And sometimes we do realize it. Because even here on social media, a troll could come in the chat and say something really stupid. But it's meant to hurt. It's meant to disrupt the show. It's meant to get our mind off of talking about Jesus and God and get us talking about something else. That person is hurting. And they want us to hurt. So they'll come in and they'll call names. They'll come in and ask dumb questions. Because they want to pass the hurt that they've had. And sometimes we say things and we don't realize that we hurt the people that we claim we care about. Like I gave you an example about the young teenager whose grandmother is trying to raise him to be something. But he's hurting that his mother's not there. And so he wants to, in his mind, he's going to become the king of the drug game. And so his children are not going to be hurting, wondering where their mother is. His children are not going to be hurting, wondering where the father is. But he's not realizing that by doing what he's doing, he's hurting his grandmother. Y'all understand? Sometimes we hurt each other without even realizing it. And sometimes we do know that we hurt someone. So have you been hurt? How are you dealing with it? Are you hurting somebody right now? Are you going to stop? You might have a child, you want them to go to college. They don't want to. They're hurting you because you plan for them to go to college all their life. You got everything all set up, the pamphlets, the books. You went and talked to the chancellor of the college and the admissions office. And then your child just say, hey, I don't want to go. We've been getting you ready to go to college all your life. I don't want to go. You trying to make him do something he don't want to do. You're hurting him. He doesn't want what you want. He doesn't want to do what you want him to do. He's hurting you. You both are hurting each other. How are you dealing with it? You got a lot of women that wanted to be cheerleaders in high school. And they look out and have a daughter that's cheerleader material. And you want her to be the cheerleader. So you can go shop for the pom-poms, and you can get the little skirts and the little saddle shoes, and you want her to do it so you can live through her. You couldn't care less about cheerleading. But you're going to push her, make her go. You're hurting her because she doesn't want to do it. You're making her resent you. And then one day you're going to have a fight. And she's going to tell you, I never wanted to do none of that stuff. I'm a tomboy. You keep trying to make me do these silly dances. What the heck wrong with you? She's going to hurt you. Going to crush your dream. But you've been hurting her for years. Making her do all that cheerleading stuff she didn't want to do. When I used to watch those beauty pageant shows, it was always some big fat woman or some ugly woman that got lucky enough to have a pretty little child. And they would sit there and dress them up and make them look like little women and go in there and they were living. They were living through the. But the children are doing what they couldn't do. But when you watch those shows, watch the children. See them crying and running around and having tantrums. They don't want to sit there in that makeup chair all day. They don't want to wear them tight clothes. They don't want all that makeup and crap on that daggone face. Fake eyelashes and all. They don't want that stuff. The parents is making them do it. They hurting the kids. And when the kids get fed up and rebel, you can see the hurt in the parents. Because the parents need them to do this for their own sanity. And when the child rebels, it hurts. Go watch Dance Mom. Go watch Dance Mom. The moms know that Abby Lee, that fat tubber lord, they know she's a nasty woman. And they still bring their kids there every day to get hollered at by that nasty woman. And the kids run off crying. And they tell them, it's going to be okay. Dry your tears and get back in there. I want to go home. I don't want to do this no more. Nah, I ain't pay all this money. God darn it, you get out there and dance. Because in reality, when you dance, I'm out there with you. I'm living through you. So get your butt back out there. I paid all this money. I take care of you. You get out there. Then they go back in there. And then Abby be like, you come back to work? All right, well, let's get it then. 1, 2. And I'm going to tell y'all, save your tears. Save your crying for your pillow at night and leave it there. Don't bring it in my classroom. And the parents just sitting there, You don't think that's hurting them little girls? But they willing to let their children go through that so they can live through. I couldn't do it. But look what I did. I coached them and look where they are now. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be on TV right now. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be in the play right now. If it wasn't for me. But you're trying to alleviate your hurt by putting hurt on your children. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I don't have cable. I don't know. Is she out of prison? Anybody know? I don't know. Is Abby Lee Miller out of prison? But this is an important lesson. And I hope that y'all are paying attention because it is important. Do we hurt people because we hurt? You know, if you are living in a nice apartment, I mean, it's nice. It's on the waterfront. You can look out go out there on your balcony and you can see the sea and it's beautiful. And then one day the owner come by and say, everybody get out. I sold the property. They're going to turn it into a amusement park or something. Y'all got to get out of here. So you look around and the only place you can find is this place that's nowhere near the water. You go outside on your balcony, you see another building right next to you. You don't even see nothing. Every time the landlord come by to get his money, you dump on the landlord. You just dumping on him. This daggone raggedy place, man. Why you put this building here? I look outside, all I see is another building. Like, God darn, man. It's ridiculous. And that landlord ain't done nothing to you. But you hurt. Because your last landlord sold that property and put you out. And the only thing you can get with this place. And instead of being grateful and saying, okay, I'm here, but the year lease that I signed, let me start looking around to see what could I find on the water. But nah, you want to take it out. Every time somebody from the rental office come by, you got the rail on. Every time you see a neighbor, how could you live in this daggone place? You got the rail on them. See, you hurting. And you want to make sure everybody else around you hurt. Don't nobody in that building got nothing to do with you. You moved there. They moved, but why are you ranting on them? Somebody got the penthouse. The penthouse is the only place where you can actually look out your window and not see nothing else. You see over the buildings next to you. You can actually look down and see the water. You do everything you can to get that person in that penthouse to get out. You make that life a living hell. That person in that penthouse ain't done nothing to you. You hurting. And you're going to make them hurt. Do y'all understand? If you have two children, one of them might be attractive, one of them might be plain Jane. One of them might be great at playing the piano or playing chess, and one of them can't even draw. If you show favoritism, the one who you don't show favor to, you're hurting them. And they're going to hurt you. You ever notice how you have a good child and a bad child? And you think, man, I've heard children be called demons, be called the bad seed. Parents make good children or they make bad seed. People do bad things because they perceive bad things were done to them. And not always physical, sometimes mental. And like the article said, that hurt is like a hot coal. You can't handle it. You try to hold it in, but you can't. And you got to let it out. And you got to aim it at something. And that's why a lot of people have problems. And the people that don't have the viciousness to actually emote it to somebody else, they'll drink or they'll do drugs to try to suppress it. They don't want to, they want to get rid of the hurt, but they can't. And so they do things, go shoplifting, gamble, anything. Have sex with different people every day, just anything. Take their mind off the hurt. They will do anything to take their mind off the hurt. You know, while we waiting on this stimulus, we've been waiting since May. I'm noticing that there are a lot of YouTubers who put 4 or 5 videos out a day, and they all claim that, hey, $1,200 stimulus, hey, they are here, hey, you can get your check, checks will go out by tomorrow, and then you watch them and you realize they ain't telling you nothing, but they getting you to watch. It was the same thing when you had the copper. Everybody's making videos but the copper. YouTube is going to get rid of all the bad channels. Anybody that's roasting, you gone. And people was watching them and they was sitting there. Where them people at now? And when that stimulus come, finally, where these people gonna be at? But they have made a YouTube career out of the stimulus, and they clickbait you. And the people that need money actually click every video, thinking that there's some stimulus coming, and it ain't. What do you think it do to the people that's looking at getting thrown out their house, that's looking at losing their home? They're trying to figure out how they're gonna put food on the table. And they turn on YouTube and see you there talking about, hey, we got it. And then you sit there and click and they ain't got it. You don't think that hurt the people? And then they watch it and then they get angry. Because you ain't lied. Ain't no daggone stimulus coming. And then what do you think they go to the next person they see? They take that hurt and dump it on them. Suppose it's a child. Suppose it's their wife. Suppose it's their neighbor. Suppose it's a parent. Suppose it's the daggone animal, the pet. They take their anger and they take that hurt out on them. They desperate for help. And you clickbait them. I like to see all them people get yanked down. Ridiculous. Take advantage of people. Ridiculous. But what kind of hurt do those YouTubers have that they willing to come clickbait you every day? What are they hurting? What is that a response of? What's in their life making them hurt? What about these YouTubers that make these roast videos? All they do is sit there and talk about nothing, just beefing and calling each other names. What's hurting in their real life that they bring it to YouTube? Where are they hurting at? Who's hurting them? And why do they take it and dump it on people on YouTube? Some of them have had the same names in the title for weeks at a time. How much hurt do you have to disseminate that you can sit there and blast somebody and talk about them for a whole month straight, one person? But all that's going on in the world. You got that much anger and hurt that you want to send it to one person for months. I don't understand. Some of them got multiple people. You have to sit there and talk the same mess? And does it make you feel good? Try to hurt somebody else. Does it make you feel good? If hurting somebody make you feel good, what's wrong with you? What's hurting you? What's hurting you to make you want to hurt somebody else? And then want to get paid for it? If you in that chat, what's hurting you that you associate with this hurt that this person putting out, and you got to add to it? What are you hurting of? See, this is what I think about when I go to these chats and see all these people and what's hurting you? If we take the time and we ask ourselves, what's hurting us? Maybe we can stop hurting each other. Figure out who hurt you. Once you figure that out, you got to figure out how to forgive that person for hurting you. Because until you do, you're going to carry that hurt. And you're going to carry that hurt right into the furnace. You and your hurt are going to go right in the furnace. Jesus says you got to forgive if you want to be forgiven. If you still carrying around that hurt, your older brother or sister never let you come along with them. You carrying that hurt. You was never picked to be on the baseball team. You carrying that hurt. Ham slept with everybody but you. And everybody laughing at you. You the only one she won't sleep with. You carrying that around. And you hate all women. You want to punish them because you were punished. You're carrying hurt. How do we get rid of the hurt? Anybody got any ideas? I'll listen. Anybody got any comments? Boy, getting a comment out of y'all is like pulling teeth. It ain't that we ain't got the topics. Nobody don't ever want to talk. The next thing. All right. Like I say, I don't read these, so let's get it. Hope and Hurts sermon. The shortest verse in the Bible is Jesus wept. Reading John 11:28-37. When she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary and told her privately, "The teacher is here and calling for you." And when she heard it, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come to the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. The Jews who were with her in the house consoling her saw Mary get up quickly and go out. They followed her because they thought she was going to the tomb to weep there. When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. He said, Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Lord, come and see." Jesus wept. Have you ever gone through a challenging period or crisis and had a friend say to you, I know how you feel? How do you feel when someone says that to you? I know exactly how you feel. My reaction is usually to think, if not to say, no, you don't. No one else has gone through the exact same circumstances that you have, or that I have, or that anyone has for that matter. Everyone's journey is unique to them. But with this understanding, I think it's possible to try to feel the pain of others. And this can be a great motivator and aid us as we strive to minister to others and support them in their difficulties. So, how do we do this? How do we feel the pain of others to a degree that mobilizes us to provide help, support, encouragement? We want others to be able to feel for us and with us. We want to be able to do this for others as well to say in our hearts, if not out loud, I feel you, man. I feel for you. Let me blow this up a little bit more. There we go. There we go. That's full screen. And our feelings can be motivators for ministry. God has given us the capacity for sympathy, empathy, and compassion. While these words are near cousins, they are not synonymous with one another. Empathy means that you feel what a person is feeling. Sympathy means you can understand what the person is feeling. Compassion is the willingness to receive the suffering of another. All right, let's do these again. Empathy means that you feel what a person is feeling. Sympathy means you can understand what the person is feeling. Compassion is the willing to receive the suffering of another. Consider how sympathy, understanding of situation, and empathy, feeling with another, can help us accomplish our mission as a church and combine to produce compassion, which is love in action. Hey, that rhymes. Compassion, love, and action. Sympathy, feeling for the person, someone. Sympathy, distance, across from. An object of compassion. I understand your situation. I can appreciate what you're going through. I know that you feel sad. Empathy, feeling with the person. Feeling with someone, empathy. It reduces the distance between us. We move from being across from someone to being alongside of someone. A therapist's definition of empathy, emotional understanding. Perhaps the truest expression of feeling we have is to identify with the emotional state of others. We have no record of Jesus feeling sorry for himself or dwelling on or becoming preoccupied with any of his personal suffering. But he felt for others. He felt sorry for them, sympathy. He felt their pain, empathy. And then he did something about it, compassion. There are plenty of examples of his ability to relate to others, to feel what they were feeling, and then translate that into action for the benefit of the people around him. Compassion from Compassion International. We are suffering with children in need. The etymology of the word compassion stems from the Latin com, meaning with, together, and Latin pati, suffer. Compassion literally means to suffer with. Compassion, suffering with another person, is combining sympathy with an active response or desire to help. Because we have compassion, we want to act and lessen someone else's suffering. Jesus. Do you ever wonder why Jesus wept when Lazarus died? Surely Jesus knew that Lazarus was on his way to a better place, that his heavenly home awaited him. Why then did he cry? I can think of several possibilities. He felt the pain of others. In the Lazarus story we read, when Jesus saw her weeping, And when he saw the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved within himself. He knew the pain of others and it became his own. In his book entitled The Suffering of God, author Charles Ulrich writes a whole chapter about how God suffers with us. In it he says, I could never worship a God who is indifferent to human affliction. The suffering servant in Isaiah 53, a man of sorrows, familiar with suffering. Surely he took up our infirmities and carried our sorrows. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus said, my heart is breaking with grief. When he carried the cross to Golgotha, he bore not only the sin of the world, but also the suffering of all mankind. Every loss, even hungry child, every illness, every agony is part of the burden that Jesus carries. Human suffering breaks God's heart. The English author and preacher Leslie Weatherhead made this discovery of God's fellow suffering. In one of his books, he describes a dream in which he is standing in heaven next to an angel looking down on suffering humanity. As he listens, he hears the cries of the people in pain all over the world, and he becomes very angry. He wonders how God can dwell in transcendent serenity when all humanity is in such turmoil. He says, in my dream, an angel turned to me with a face I cannot describe. There was a pain in it, such as I've never seen on a face before, yet there was joy too outshining it. There were tears in his eyes, yet through the tears a triumph shone. This is the secret of empathizing with others, that sorrow is genuine, but that compassion prevails. That we feel for others in such a way as that we are not incapacitated or overwhelmed, but galvanized and motivated to action. God with us, Emmanuel. And we are not alone in our pain. Meaningless suffering intensifies when it is born alone. Sufferers then need not only sympathy, but genuine empathy. They need someone who understands to be there, to stand with them in their hour of trial. In the coldness and alienation of a hospital bed, it means so much to be affirmed by the warm embrace of a friend who understands what affliction is like, someone who's experienced the same pain and the same fear. We also learn to live with the tension of feeling the pain of others who have not been healed, who are poor and still in need, who are living with unfulfilled desires, who are experiencing firsthand the injustice and inequity of this world. Feeling the pain of others requires that we give something of ourselves. What do we give? How do we give? When do we give? We give of ourselves. Examples of sympathy and service. Deacons and Stephen Ministry are trained lay caregivers in the church. They are taught to listen. God listens to us. We can listen to others in the same way. God works through our caring, listening, like a soothing salve works on a wound, bringing about healing for self-understanding and the abundant life that Jesus promised. Active listening can be our first response of compassion. Compassion. Another dimension is compassion for lostness. Jesus' motivation for healing the sick was a genuine sorrow for the physical suffering that he saw in others, but he also wept for the spiritual pain he experienced when he looked upon Jerusalem. He anticipated his betrayal by the people there, and instead of judging them, he experienced sorrow for their losses, that they were hurting so much inside that they were ready to lash out and hurt others to hurt him. When you see someone who is living in sin or with the consequences of their sin, does it make you cringe or cry? Is your heart moving to pray for that person's relief, healing, comfort, and salvation? Is your compassion strong enough to cause your hand to extend in action, help, or hope for another? That was Jesus' response. He felt the loss the lostness of people, that sense of hopelessness, lack of direction or purpose, or the penalties that sin produced in their lives, and he responded with compassion. True spiritual healing ultimately comes from the presence of God, but it is represented in the physical presence of every person here in this room. We all have the God-given capacity for sympathy, empathy, and compassion. We can be the healing salve that others need. Ultimately, God is the cure giver, but we can be the caregivers. We can do our part to ease the pain and suffering in the world, one day at a time, one person at a time. Sympathy, empathy, compassion are all motivators for ministry to others. When we see the hopes and hurts, these can produce a response from us, an act that comes from our hearts. Then we can embrace the hopes and hurts of others and respond to them in their moment of need. All right, let's pull the chat up. Anybody got any comments? Hello. Anybody have any comments? Any comments or questions on our topic today? Anybody? There's only 3 people watching? But alrighty, I'm going right up to the store. I'll be back on it. I'll be live at 7:30. I'm going to the store. I can go ahead and get me some side orders. Nobody don't want to talk religion today. Y'all say keep it short. We got an hour and 27 minutes. Thanks to everybody that watched. I hope y'all learned something. And I'll see y'all in a little bit. Y'all have a great one. God bless all of you. Thanks for coming. And we out. Oh, as Naya would say, see you soon. I'm saying, see you at 7. Now, was it a bike or a mobility scooter? Hello? Alrighty, y'all. We are back live. Somebody called and asked me to come back live. I'm trying to think of which one did I show 500. Oh, that's 690. But 678, 767, 7. I don't see it for. Wasn't that one? See it for 5. About this one. 500. They haven't even shown it. Where is it? On that one. But hold on. But I did see one on Amazon. Hey y'all, we back. Somebody told me to come back on live. They called me just as I had stopped the show. Who pops up? Said 500. 500. He's showing parts. Come on, man. You're killing me. I ain't showing a bike yet. Okay, I see what the problem is. Let's hit feature. There you go. That's why I don't like going this way. They give you everything all priced up. Everything is high as a mother. Everything. I don't understand. I put in an e-bike and we ain't seen an e-bike yet. This is what I would like to have. Type it in. All right, let's find it. Good. Thank you for calling back. Hello? Hello?
It's a mobility scooter, like the one I bought you. You said you could find one for $500.
I have found a mobility scooter for 500.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, it was 21, but you said you found it for 500 or something.
Well, it's gone. It's over. Hold on, wait. Let me check eBay real quick. Now I know what you're talking about. I've been looking at a lot of stuff, but hold on. That the one I was talking about, somebody got it. But give me 1 second here. Maybe somebody else put one up. Go to that price range. Everything they got look ordinary. Out of curiosity, they crazy. $500. These are like the ones. These are like the ones I already got. Oh, oh, they all look lame. But that price range, nothing popped up. What if we clear it? Yeah, that's why they are. Hey. God darn, they all along the leg. I don't see a deal. That's a bad mama jama right there. I ain't gonna front. I don't know what I would do with that thing. It's too big. Oh, there's nothing there. That was it. That was really it. Who is that? I don't see nothing. Those are bicycles. Come on, man. I'm trying one last time. $500. I don't see nothing worth looking at. Oh, they're just showing covers. Nobody has any for sale right now. Really sad. Nobody has any for sale. They don't have no mobility scooters in that price range, but I can put my chair in a trike at 500. Find one for 500. I see not at each right. Stuff again. In the $500 range. Hey, Mama Jama right. Had nothing in the range. So cheap. That's why I said if you put a chair on one of those, if I put my chair on one of those, that turns it into a mobility scooter. By having that chair on it. Where's that one for $500? He said 500. That try this. That one for 500. Love how I typed in 500. How about? Oh, try that. Same one keep popping up. I don't know, but shopping. Oh my God, it's 6:39. Oh my God. A cheap price I ever seen. 1,000. Only 355. I wouldn't even my fat butt on that. Hey, Walmart want 980. Oh, Walmart, you high. That's at 4. That's an E-wheel. How powerful is it? High speed miles per hour. Capacity. The motor. Size of the motor. Doesn't say. Doesn't say what the motor. That's not. It didn't say no 699. You liar. That mess out of here. You lied. It didn't say 699. Yes, it did. Mine is bad. I don't see it. Child. I don't know, but this is 639. 800 watt. They got it in the 500 watt. How much is that? Oh heck no. No, take us back. Take us back. 48 volt, 800 watt. Are you still on the phone? Hello? Are you still on the phone? Hello? Can you help us get this one that's only 639? See the seat right there? All I would do would just take the chair I got, and I would just sit it right in there and tie it down. And it's a mobility scooter. That's not. Wait a minute now. That ain't the one I just. That ain't the one I hit. Go back. Somebody playing games. See that? That's what I hit. Okay. And they keep giving us that. No, 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 no. That's a mistake. But that's why I was so cheap. Mm-hmm. That's only 350, right? 500, right? Still over 570. Got 250 spots now. Let's try this then. Because that's where the deal was. The deal wasn't on eBay. Baltimore, Craigslist. Come on, Craigslist. Can you help me out? For the price, said 500. Somebody will help us out. I stole that man's scooter. That's daggone shame. Steal anything. Oh, isn't that cute? Look at the little shoe-in scooter. But medical scooter better than what you got. At least they had one. Better than what you. Come on. Yeah, somebody got two of us there. Yeah, somebody got two of us there. I literally got two of us there. Let me see. Neither one of them got shocks. Neither one of them got shocks. No, no, thank you. Ain't number what I already got. But if they had shocks, I might could have went for it. If they had some shocks on it, I might could have went for it. Much with it, you know. But they had two of them. La, 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 la. Nope. Craigslist couldn't even help me out. Looking. That's a bad mama jama right there. I ain't gonna try. So it's that one. That right there. Anything for 500. 500. Anything for 500. Even in the pandemic. Little teeny thing. Said if I had one wish. That's a nice bike right there. If I had one wish. Wish got the only prices that's reasonable. Everything is an arm and a leg today. I don't know why. We ain't seeing no deals. We not seeing no deals today. That E8 is on point. I would take that E8. Bad mama telling me. Hey, Debbie, you walk by me again here, I'm gonna kick you. And I told you to slow down somewhere twice. I'm gonna keep talking to you. You're gonna do what I said the first time. Not when you want. What should they? Oh, they all too high, except for the 5. Ain't much better than what I got. That ain't much better than what I got. No, somebody said they were gonna donate, but the scooter that he talking about, somebody bought that. It was in the auction. There's nothing on Craigslist. There's nothing on eBay. There's nothing on Amazon that's anywhere near $500. So I would have to get a bike. I'm not gonna be able to get a mobility scooter for $500 unless I find it on Craigslist somewhere or it's in the auction. So is that person still on the phone? No. Hello? Now, we can find a bike for $500. That's better than the one I got. Even on Amazon. Really? They really want to say, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I don't even believe you even put up that price. They ought to be ashamed. I said shame. Got them cheap anchovies up there. I'm right with that crack. I wouldn't let my Doug buy that. What the heck is that? Nothing for 500. That's our limit. I thought I saw one. They got one for $439. Got the 5. That's just that ain't much better than what I got. Better, but it ain't much better. You're looking for a bike for $500. Can you like set a price? Can you set a price over there somewhere? Why can't you set a price? What about $500 eBay? That's our limit. Even though I know one thing, we could have already been to the market by now. Supposed to be going out the door. I know I typed in $500. Every price popping up. I said $500, sir. $500. I don't see no. $30. How many watts is it? You doing everything but mentioning how many watts it is. Still ain't seen how many watts it is. You don't want me to know, do you? You know I'm gonna keep right on going. That's why they want me to know. Yeah, we'll keep right on going when I. Who? $420. 155 motor. It ain't much different than what we got though. That's a problem. Get cheap ass out of here. But nobody got no deal for us today. Nobody got a deal for us today. What about this level? 590, 520. $412. You get that from Costco for $2.99. There it is right there. Somebody got it for $4.99. You liars. Oh, cheap. Go 200 mode. Everything gonna have a 200. Ain't no deals. Everything gonna have a 200 motor. I ain't got no deals on. I'm done fooling. I don't understand how come why the price still so high on these. That's the problem though. It ain't much better than the one we got. It ain't worth the $500. It's worth it, but it ain't worth it. All right, I'm done. All right. All right, y'all. It was getting dark. Now it's dark. It was getting dark. Now it is dark. I'm going to go to the store. That's not what I meant to put in. Now, if somebody would like to help us out, this is what I would like to get. 48 volt, 700 watt, 350 motor on each side. There's a 350 watt motor on each side. Uses a key. It folds down so I can put it on the landing. Just drag it up to 4 steps. Let it sit there. Yeah, it folds up. That alone right there. Folds up. There's a weight limit of 300 pounds. Yeah, does it have shocks? That's a good question. Does it have shocks? I didn't even check that out. Does it have a fork? Wait a minute, it don't have shocks. Let me look at the back. Do you got shocks, sir? Nah, I don't want it. It don't have no shocks. Boo. Boo. So when I got the stimulus, I was going to get that. It don't have shocks. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Doggone it. Oh, I did it now. I didn't mean to do that. I really don't want that. Is it the real one this time, or is it another fake? All right. If somebody would like to help, that's what we need. 48 volts. That means they got 4 batteries in it instead of 3. 1200 watts. Like I have now, only has 250 watts. Somebody would like to help us out with that one. It's called the Mototech, right? 48, 1200 watts. How fast does it go? Wait a minute. They're asking you for the power? What we want? 1200. Delivery type. Residential. What, that's $35? Delivery zone. Wait a minute. All these are added in. What does liftgate delivery mean? It's $35 for a liftgate delivery sheet. You better throw it off the truck. Shipping policy, adult signature required. All right, well, what's the stats? Max capacity 400 pounds. Speeds 18 miles per hour and up. Range per charge 20 plus miles. Motor power 1200 watt. Battery 8 12 volt by 12 batteries. Woo. Charger included. Brakes front rear. Seat wide saddle. We can take it out and put our scooter chair there. And that makes that a scooter. All right, so I will just wait. Somebody want to help, great. If not, don't worry about it. I'll get it myself when we get the stimulus. They ever get around to it, I'll get it myself. But hold on a sec. Does that have any suspension? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do you have suspension? Hold on a sec. Do you have suspension, sir? I don't see no fork. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't see no suspension. Nah, I'd rather have a bike with suspension. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. You ain't got no suspension. I don't want to deal with you. Yeah. I'm finding out right now. Neither one of these vehicles got suspension. The heck with them. You said a boycott for the country music award. You listen to country music? See, this is how we get in trouble. Somebody gonna come in here and say, I like country music. Why are you talking about my music? Because when we think of country music, that's what we think of. I lost my horse. All I got is my saddle. Tried to get my wife back, but I lost that battle. People coming to my house to eat, but I ain't got nothing here but rice and sweets. We don't have no TV or no stereo either. We slumming like we on Leave It to Beaver. I'm supposed to entertain 20 people and I got 1 loaf of bread. And to dip it, they gon' have to dip it in this hedgehog head. So that's all I got. That's what I found in the fridge. Nothing but mold. I might have to sell my grandma's necklace. It's 24 karat gold. Maybe I'll just cancel the party and be made a fool. 'Cause I got no plates, no spoons, no anything. How can I be cool? People won't be eating with their hands, passing around the CV. Then I'll have Donald Trump and the CDC trying to lock me up for bringing up his count. 'Cause I'm down here in Texas. We number 2. That's what it amounts. It amounts. We number 2. We listen to Trump. Now we dying. 'Cause we listen to Donald Trump. That president is always lying. He said you don't have to worry about the task of buying a mask. But he ain't the one that's dead last. I can't go to the store till everybody get what they want and they get out. Can't even go shopping down south. Listening to this president, we all in a bunch of trouble. When you go vote in November, make sure you press Democrat. Hit it double. Make sure it go through. Make sure everybody else that coming in as you see. Make sure they don't vote for Trump. You best believe. Man bragging that he gave $13 billion to Puerto Rico. But this man know you about to get evicted, and the Republicans said no. We not gonna help you. They say you're on your own. I didn't know the president and his court had a throne. They live in the laps of luxury. They don't give a damn about you and me. That's why I'm singing this stupid country song. Who's that? I don't know. I had ended the show. Somebody called me on the Hangouts and said, I got $500 so you can get the scooter you were showing, but that was months ago. Somebody bought that scooter. It was actually a mobility scooter. Somebody bought it. It really cost like $2,300. But somebody was selling it for y'all remember was selling it for $486. But I look at it, there ain't no deals. They $500. Ain't no deals. But I'm getting ready to head up to the store, y'all. So we should already be up there. We should already been up there. I let the person distract me. Cause I'm looking at the phone and I don't see no donation. I don't see no donation. So, all right, y'all. Let me get out of here. So now I supposed to been. It was 6:50 something, and I was supposed to leave. Now it's 7:45. Did you see how things work? So now I gotta hurry up there, and I can't take my time shopping now. I gotta get in there and get out. They close at 10 o'clock. So we gotta hurry up and get up there, and hurry up and get back. So all right, y'all, give me 20 minutes. Let me get this tie and stuff off, and we'll be on the road again. And I didn't charge the lights up, but I'm gonna go ahead and the headlights are most important. So I'll go ahead and charge the headlights while I'm getting dressed. That'll give us something. I know the phone is charged 100%. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all about 8:15. All right. See y'all at 8:15. We are out again. We are out of here. See y'all at 8:15.